What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we have our official UDFA tracker. We're going to be going over every single UDFA the Vikings have signed so far. We got a list of 20 players, and the Vikings did it again with their UDFA draft class this year. There's actually probably a couple guys that will end up making the 53-man roster, so we'll dive into it here in a second. But first off, if you guys are just fired up about this Vikings team heading into the next season, I was texting a bunch of my family members who are all Vikings fans last night after the draft, and we're all very excited, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. Young, hungry, stacked roster with a stacked coaching staff, and if you guys are fired up, hit that thumbs up icon. I put today's goal as 1,000 likes, so a lofty goal, but if you guys go down there and see we aren't at 1,000 likes, help us out here and hit that thumbs up button. All right, let's start diving into a couple of these guys. So you got Max Brosmer, QB, Minnesota. Feels good to bring him or keep him in the state of Minnesota, and he's going to be signing with the Vikings. You also got Joe Huber, guard out of Wisconsin, Dontae Fleming, and then Silas Bolden, burner wide receiver, kick returner from Texas. He's about 5'8", 160 pounds. But this dude has some top-end speed. I wonder if this is going to be a practice squad guy here, but yeah, 5'7 and a half. Didn't really have any production at Texas this past season. 23 receptions, 267 yards. But this guy is literally just a burner over the top, 162 pounds. So I like picking him up as the Vikings are adding a ton of speed to this wide receiver room this whole offseason. I mean, the Ty Felton pick, Rondell Moore, Jalen Naylor. But specifically, one guy I do like, obviously Max Brosmer getting picked up with the Vikings. I don't know if he's going to have a chance to make the roster, but also, let's just say Sam Howell is a lock to be QB2. Maybe Brosmer and Brett Rippon battled out to be the emergency third quarterback, but I would probably assume it will be Rippon, and then Brosmer would be the practice squad guy for the Vikings. But some studs on this list here. We got Chaz Chambliss, edge out of Georgia. This dude's got an incredibly high motor. And then this guy right here, Benjamin Yurosek. We were actually talking about him being a potential round 6 pickup for the Vikings. They instead got that Bartholomew guy from Pittsburgh, but tight end, Georgia. This guy, solid production, but these two at the bottom, Tyler Batty and Logan Brown. Both these guys were supposed to be drafted. Both were top 200 prospects this year, but edge out of BYU. This guy's a freak. And then Logan Brown could potentially be a Vikings swing tackle with Justin School next season, but I'll see. I love the pickup of Logan Brown, though. This guy's a stud. He had an 82.5 PFF grade this past season, 6'6", 311 pounds. Actually, grew up hometown, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Same hometown as Kirk Cousins. Now, he was a 6-year senior, and he was actually our 9th overall tackle on our big board, and he was a number 111 overall. Now, he's a former 5-star, flashes power and athletic traits, very inconsistent with signs of greatness and major struggles at times. He plays tall and let defenders get under him just because of his natural height, but he's an interesting player. Could be developed into, hopefully a swing tackle for the Minnesota Vikings. But hey, this list right here, I mean, if you would have told me the Vikings would have drafted any of these 3 guys in the 6th round, I probably would have been thrilled about it. But as we carry on here to 9 through 12, you got Zeke Correll, NC State center, so a little insurance. Maybe you try to find a diamond in the rough to replace Ryan Kelly when his time is done. Keenan Garber, cornerback out of Kansas State. Austin Keys, linebacker out of Auburn. And we also went back to Auburn for another wide receiver, Robert Lewis, as he was the 12th UDFA signed by the Minnesota Vikings. So, Kwesi, he does it again with these moves. He always is taking gambles on guys who have high upside in the UDFA class, but then he'll also go the complete opposite direction where it's like, hey, we'll take a guy who's got great production here. And Robert Lewis, wide receiver out of Auburn, didn't really play too much this past season. Super silky route runner, though. I think this is a guy where maybe it was Keenan Cardell pounding the table for him to get him to Minnesota. But the Vikings always find gems in the UDFA class specifically, but also just at the wide receivers position. So excited about a bunch of these guys, and we'll dive into more here in a second. But you guys let me know, which UDFA are you most excited about? I'll challenge you guys to not say Max Brosmer here, as I'm assuming a lot of you guys will comment him. But for me, I'll go Tyler Batty, edge out of BYU, and we'll dive into the rest of the list here in a sec. We'll dive into more Vikings UDFAs here in a second, but first off, got to give a massive shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is Chubbies. And if you guys head to chubbyshorts.com/chat and use promo code CHAT, you guys will get 20% off. Fellas, April is here, but this ain't the time for fooling. It's time to let those thighs breathe. Whether you're playing around to golf with the fellas, hitting up a beer garden, or visiting an actual garden. Chubby's has you covered for all the good vibes that the warm weather brings. You can also get this shirt and the Viking swim trunks at www.chubbyshorts.com/chat. I can also get you 20% off Chubby's original line of shorts, swim trunks, and polos. You'll love either. You can pair up the original stretch shorts with Chubby's lineup of performance polos, and now you're cooking with gas. With a soft, stretchy, and breathable fabric, these polos are built to kick back, turn up, chill out, or party down. Whether you're getting dressed for your workday, a workout, or a weekend getaway, Chubby's has you covered. For a limited time, Chubby's is giving our viewers 20% off your order with code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com. That's code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com. Support our show and tell them we sent you. Don't blend in with the crowd. Stand out with Chubby's. All right, let's carry on here with another Auburn Tiger being signed by the Minnesota Vikings, Dorian Mausi Jr. They go into the linebacker department on this one. Flies around the football field, super athletic. But then you also got Bryson Nesbit, tight end out of North Carolina. Then also Mishael Powell, safety out of Miami. Then you also had Tre Stewart, Tre Stewart, I will say, you go throwing his highlight tape on YouTube. I saw a couple floating around there on Twitter yesterday. Tre Stewart is a dog. But more specifically here on the linebacker out of Auburn, Dorian Mausi Jr., born and raised Detroit, Michigan. He was a senior this past season, 6'1", 231 pounds, had 81 tackles, 9 TFLs, 2.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble for the Auburn Tigers this past season. Big fan of his game. And the Vikings, it's not like they had dire need at the linebacker position, but I do like that they addressed it with Kobe King in the 6th, and then you're picking up a couple of good, UDFAs here in the class. But guys, Tre Stewart, right after you watch this video, go plug in Tre Stewart highlights on YouTube, the Jacksonville State running back. This dude's a stud, man. So go check him out after you finish this. But another guy who's a stud, Zemaiah Vaughn. Kwesi does it again. I think this guy, watch out for Zemaiah Vaughn. If he does make the roster, I was listening to somebody, some podcast yesterday talk about him. They said he could have safety versatility. So I wonder if maybe with Zemaiah Vaughn they try to bump him to safety, but we'll see. This guy was incredibly productive for Utah this past season. 6 PBUs, 40 tackles, 1 interception, 6'2.5" corner, 186 pounds. I'm a little shocked he went undrafted. I know Kobe Bryant, the Kansas corner, like everybody was like, man, why did he go undrafted? And, for right reason. The guy's a hell of a football player, but I also was shocked that Zemaiah went undrafted there. But you also have Oscar Chapman, punter, out of Auburn. So 4 Auburn Tigers here. Ryan Wright, Vikings signed him to a 1-year deal this offseason. I wonder if we'll have a little punter competition at training camp, which would be a little fun. We knew the Vikings were trying to upgrade that spot last year, but then you also got Miles Price, wide receiver out of Indiana. Guy's a freak athlete as well. Go toss on his highlight tape. The Vikings have a lot of, I just call them their good Twitter highlight guys in their UDFA class. So they pop on their big time plays, and Miles Price is the definition of that. But hey, if you guys made it to the end of today's show, hit me with a scold down below in the comment section. It was a wild 2025 NFL draft. We were live here on the show for about 15 hours, breaking down every single selection, and I am absolutely exhausted. I cannot wait to get out of here and go to bed right after this, but we appreciate everybody who watched this whole thing. Hit me up with a scold down below, and also hit me up on Twitter, @PatSieps is the handle. See y'all next time. As always, Skol Vikes.